I would expect nobody to come to Bloom and replicate one of these gardens at home, but almost every single garden here has an idea for somebody to take away with them. So I think for somebody looking for inspiration, if you know already what you're going to do at home, well then you're fine, but there's still a lot you can learn here at Bloom.
Well, I suppose it depends on their individual budgets. If they have some money, they could obviously employ a garden designer and they could get the knowledge that they would have. But I think anybody coming to Bloom with the plants that are on sale here, with the ideas, they can come home with, they could take something home with them with very modest budgets too.
I'd look at maybe some of the ideas are big, but within them they can be transferred to smaller spaces. So even though you might have larger meadow planting, you could actually take a small section of that and use that in a border or in an urban courtyard. Not to be afraid to slice up a design like that, rather than thinking that that's too big for what I've got. That eye for detail is what maybe people should be looking for.
Try to replicate. Don't try to have the planting too bitty. There's a great saying we use, less is more. So a replication of a good planting scheme rather than kind of diluting it by too many ideas. So simplify the ideas, simplify the use of the palette of material, maybe keep that to 2 or 3 materials. Less is more, always works best.
And what are some of the key features that you've seen here today?
Well, one of the things I'm really pleased about is the greater range of plant materials that are being used. A couple of years ago, there was repetition of certain plants. Birch trees were being used a lot, but now there's a great range of trees being used. I think that, again, gives novelty, but also is very good for the nursery industry and means that there's a richer palette of plants that people can use in their gardens.
There's a lot of interesting, what we call hard landscape features, and those are the ones essentially that get you out into your garden and let you walk about, let you sit down, let you enjoy the open space as such. I mean, the garden as we say the room outside.
A lot of orange. Lots of really the planting is getting better and better at Bloom. The quality of planting is getting better. So good planting combinations, a boldness of construction, this mix of industrial materials blended together.
I think there's an interest in wilder planting, softer kind of meadowy planting, and some really kind of confident use of buildings and colour. So I guess the show as a whole is increasing in confidence really, and that's a good sign for Ireland, I think.